Hey there, everybody, and welcome to Cover Wars, the podcast where we find you the best covers ever of a particular song, and we also decide whether or not the original is better than the covers, or if any of our covers beat the original. I'm your host, aJaX, and with me always is Seth. Seth, how are you doing tonight?
I'm hanging in there. How are you?
Not doing too bad. But we have a very special guest. Joining us today is Casey Killingsworth. He is a popular contributor to the Saturday Night Network. He also has his own podcast he co-hosts with a guest we will be having here in the future too, Deej Barons. It's Casey Killingsworth. Casey, how are you this evening?
I'm doing great. Glad to be on your guys' podcast and glad to branch out into being a guest on non-specifically SNL related podcast. So this will be a fun little experiment for me, if nothing else.
Yeah, there you go. And speaking of experiments, what song will we be covering today on Cover Wars?
We will be covering the Turtles' Happy Together.
Oh yeah, let's do this.
Call you up, invest a dime, and you say you belong to me.
Cover Wars, the podcast where we find you the top 3 covers of our popular song. We pull from a curated playlist of 20 different versions. We reveal our top 5 favorites, then we battle it out in a cover war, where we reveal what we've determined, culminating in the best cover ever of a popular song.
So, Casey, why Happy Together by the Turtles? Why did you select that song?
Really, it was just the first song that came to my mind that I knew had a number of different covers that we could talk about. And trying to fit preparing for this podcast into preparing for my own We Art Hater and my own blogging that I do, I thought, I'll ask about this one first and see if they haven't done one already. And fortunately, no one has. So I just went with that.
Well, I love this pick. I was telling you too, this is one where as soon as somebody mentions this song, I immediately get transported back to Ernest Goes to Camp in the cabin with them with the turtle and singing Happy Together.
The only one for me is you, and you for me.
So love this song, love this choice. And what's funny is I had 3 covers in mind I've known in the past, and I'm like, okay, those 3, one of those has to be in my top 5. Not a single one of them is. So this is very interesting. We found some really, really good covers. So we're just going to get right into it. We're going to go with our rankings, and we'll begin with you, Casey. What we do is we do our top 5, reveal from 5 to 1, and then we do some honorable mentions afterwards. So because you're our guest today, you're going to go first. What is your number 5?
My number 5 is Flo and Eddie.
When you're with me, baby, the skies will be blue for all my life.
Yeah, Flo and Eddie are definitely musical legends, gone too soon. And I like their like lo-fi white reggae. It's like inauthentic reggae that's far from Bob Marley. That take on this song, and coming from what I'm gonna assume is like late 70s, that actually manages to complement it well. It's like somewhere in between, Bob Marley sound, but coming from more of a Jimmy Buffett background. So they complement this. It all works, but they leave you wanting a bit more because even they could only do so much with this song. So that's why it's only number 5 for me.
Gotcha. Yeah, this is from the album Rock Steady with Flo and Eddie, released in April 1981. You hit it right there. They're the original members of the Turtles, Mark Bowman and Howard Kalin. They describe themselves as Red Fox meets the Partridge Family. They became members of Frank Zappa's The Mothers of Invention after the Turtles broke up, and then they became a comedy rock duo, Flo and Eddie, before joining what would become Flo and Eddie and the Turtles for the rest of their tenure. They are currently sitting at 29.5 thousand monthly listeners. They also wrote music for Strawberry Shortcake and the Care Bears movie. So that's kind of cool. I thought this. I mean, there were a couple OGs. They take it back. Their classic hit, "Happy Together," and they tropify it. Is a verb that I just came up with. So down to like the bare bones. They do remove some life from it, though. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it at all. In fact, I will mention too that there isn't a single one of these that I disliked. I liked a little bit of all of these. So the Tropicalia there, that's the thing that I really dug from this version. Seth, what did you think of Flo and Eddie's version?
It was a good take. Definitely a different vibe. What Casey was saying is definitely I see what he's saying. He's right on the ball.
Right on. All right. So Seth, what is your number 5?
My number 5 is no stranger to the podcast. I've got Pomplamoose.
Imagine how the world could be so very fine.
Pomplamoose. Okay, so this is, like you said, no stranger to our podcast. They make an appearance at least once every 2 or 3 episodes. This is from a single released in May of 2020 during COVID times. Jack Conte and Natalie Dawn are mainstays in Cover Wars, a husband-wife duo who formed in 2008. Why did you like them so much? You had them at number 5.
I thought it was well seasoned, great production, and very cool.
Nice. Casey, what did you think of the Pomplamoose version?
Well, I mean, I liked it. It's they're like an indie band. Well, first of all, when I was going through the list of 20 you guys sent me, I was looking for the 10 that stood out the most. So I kind of eschewed all these just generic acoustic covers that all sound the same. I was just looking for what stood out as far as modernizing this song from the 60s, bringing it to the modern era, spreading it to different genres. And this does really capture a certain vibe of 2010s and early 2020s style of music well. I mean, it is obviously filmed in COVID isolation. No one's even in the same building, let alone the same room, and the video's edited that way. And as far as the sound, it's heavily influenced by Pomplamoose has a female lead singer and a female backup vocalist, and so obviously this is heavily influenced by the likes of Billie Eilish, Lorde, Lana Del Rey, and of the two that I heard that made me think this sounds like if Billie Eilish covered this song, I did decide I like this one a lot better. And they influenced a lot of modern female singers, and I just like the very light, airy, dreamy vocals and production that capture the spirit of the original while bringing it into the modern hipsterish indie rock era, and
Nice.
captured modern production, especially COVID era production, pretty well.
Right. Yeah, I just thought Natalie's voice, it really adds a nice nuance to the track, gives it more depth and variety. Nice out of time version, like you said. And then the song had beautiful vocals and instrumentation all the way through. So solid pick for number 5. All right. Are you ready for my number 5?
Yep.
So my number 5 went a little different here. This one was not expecting this at all. And it just kind of shocked me, but Filter.
You and me.
Filter's version from the Stepfather soundtrack, which I barely remembered was even a movie. That soundtrack was released in September 2016. Filter currently at 1.8 million monthly listeners, an American rock band formed in 1993 in Cleveland by singer Richard Patrick, along with guitarist and programmer Brian Liesengang, and I'm probably butchering that name. The band was formed when Patrick decided to start his own band after leaving Nine Inch Nails as their touring guitarist. So this is an unhinged version of the song, but I think in a very good way. It's a completely deconstructed chorus. I just thought it really worked for me, though, with the dark undertone throughout and going low tempo on the verses and just erratic chaos during the chorus. I love the yells. I thought they were timed nicely. And that last raspy growl at the end, it was just perfect. It's so weird. It's good. I am dying to know. Casey, what did you think of Filter's version?
I mean, out of the ones that I picked out of, these are the ones I want to talk about in this podcast. This is by far my least favorite. I mean, the fact that a former member of Nine Inch Nails was in this that explains a lot, because this is just the most anachronistically wrong, like atonal clash of musical styles, genres, and tones, just eras of rock in general. And it's shockingly dramatic for what it is. So visually, there's a bit of a clash. I mean, this video ends with a girl getting hit by a car. Even the well-known emo musician on this list would tell these guys to lighten up a bit. It's almost funny how wrong it is. Almost funny, but just too abrasive for me to really be anywhere near my top 5 or my honorable mentions, to tell you the truth.
Casey, welcome to Cover Wars. This is what it's all about right here, is the difference in opinion. I love it.
I'm here to put the wars in cover.
Hey,
wars.
it's all good. Seth has been doing this to me for a long time. So, Seth, what is your take on Filter?
Unlike Casey, I really dug this version. I thought it was something special, actually.
Well, it's interesting because it's from this movie, The Stepfather. And I think the whole point of having like an anti-version of Happy Together and just making it ironic like that is it has to do with the theme of the movie. So I don't think it would have even existed had that movie not existed. Thanks to the movie The Stepfather, which I vaguely remember even hearing about, I would never have been so pleased to hear such an interesting version of the song and have it at number 5. So, all right, our number 5s are all over the map. So I can't wait to see what we get into in our next 4. So, Casey, what is your number 4?
Well, mine is the well-known emo musician that I just mentioned. It's Gerard Way featuring Ray Toro. And I get the sense that Gerard Way's since branched out into different types of music and other projects. But like most people, I mainly know Gerard Way from his time as the frontman of My Chemical Romance. So I was pleasantly surprised that he could understand the assignment this well in covering a song that's, he understood that it was much lighter fare than, what he's known for, like Welcome to the Black Parade and the song Teenagers, which this actually reminds me a lot of, or his song I'm Not Okay, because this does sound like someone who is okay, to be honest. So for a well-known emo / screamo musician, he really captured the vibe and the feeling of the original well, while, modernizing the song, bring it into at least like 2007 without trying to twist it into his own style at all, the same way that I feel Filter tried so hard to. But bringing it back to Filter a bit, I didn't totally hate it. I appreciate it being on this list because when I was first starting to take notes for this, when I was listening to these and starting to gather notes together, Filter jumped out at me. And that's when like the SNL reviewer / Mad Magazine reader, MST3K fan, that part of my brain kicked in, said, you got to take some notes on this just to get going and start picking and rearranging things out. So
nice.
But yeah, Gerard Way, number 4, an emo musician branching out into non-emo covers that are modern but faithful to the original.
Yeah, and so this actually came from his series that was put together based on his comic book series called The Dark Horse. This was from a single released in February of 2019. It also appeared in the first season of The Umbrella Academy. That's that Netflix series based on his comic book series. So both members of My Chemical Romance, Gerard Way and Ray Toro, on this track. My Chemical Romance has 19 million monthly listeners. They're currently 442nd in the world. 48 million streams of this version of Happy Together, which is crazy to think about. But my Kim fans, they're pretty much a strong force, and they're still around. They're still making music, still performing. So everyone's holding out for a new album. We'll see. I loved this version. I thought it was great. And those electric vocals displayed over a perfect recording. Sounds like it had to be. So, Seth, what did you think of Gerard Way and Ray Toro's version?
I thought it was a light take, classic sound. They managed to capture that classic sound, yet kind of maybe making it more appropriate to today's sound. I don't know if you want to. That's a bad way of breaking that down.
That's fine. Everything's got their own way to break it down. It's all good. It made enough sense. All right, it's all good. What is your number 4?
My number 4 is Weezer.
I've heard of them. Yes, I like Weezer.
Me too.
So Weezer, this is from the Teal album. This was an album that was unplanned. It was a precursor to Weezer's Black album, which the Black album is my least favorite Weezer album. So the Teal album, even though a lot of people didn't like it, I thought it was a nice contrast to the Black album. They are currently at 16.4 million monthly listeners. Weezer, a very popular band from LA who formed in 1992. I could go on and on about them, so that's all I'm going to say. I thought this was a beautiful, albeit safe rock version of the song with Rivers' signature vocals shining through. The heavier drums and guitar are palpable, but the production is slicker than I would like. It's Weezer, and I'm a huge Weezer fan, so it's hard not to be biased here. Casey, what did you think of this version?
Well, I like Weezer, and I like most of the covers I heard on the Teal album. And, I don't totally hate late period Weezer, but I do get some of the criticisms of their post Island in the Sun period, at least. So as much as I like the big bombastic sound that they added to this and what they did with it, I hesitated to put this in my top 5 because, Weezer is such a divisive and polarizing band and has been for 20 years now. I didn't quite feel fully right putting in my top 5, but I got to give this one props, even if I didn't need Matt Damon suddenly sliding into my DMs to tell me drink my blood. So.
Okay, so Seth, why did you have Weezer at number 4?
I thought it was a hip yet timeless take. Lots of fun and great vocals.
Awesome. All right, you guys ready for my number 4?
I'm ready.
So my number 4 is King Princess and Mark Ronson. This is from a single released in August 2019. King Princess currently at 2.1 million monthly listeners, the stage name for singer Michaela Strauss, who constructs beautiful pop anthems and intimate confessionals, while Mark Ronson, with 30.5 million monthly listeners, is a highly decorated mega producer, DJ, turned recording artist, ranked 200th in the world. I thought this was a lovely take here, a really cool blend of sounds with abstract vocals. Just an original styling with a little burst of nuance and flair. It's the version I kept liking more and more with each listen, and eventually it ended up in my top 5. Casey, what did you think of King Princess and Mark Ronson?
Well, without spoiling the rest of my top 5, I'll just say that I really dug the blown out vocals from King Princess mixed with the blown out guitar backing. That was done really well. And, I do see why, this does show you why Mark Ronson's such a well-known hit maker, and how the songs he's produced for more modern pop stars turned out to be hits. So, I'll just leave it at that for now.
All right. Seth, what did you think of Mark Ronson with King Princess?
I'll echo Casey's sentiments on this one.
All right. Well, that means, okay, so here's the thing. So before we started recording, Seth and I'm just like, we're not going to have any matches. That one gives me hope. But just in general, there's so many good versions of the song. You pick such a great song. Everybody's got their own unique take on it. And that's why I'm like, there's nothing I hate about any of these, which is something I can't say about many, many of the other songs that we do. So that being said, Casey, what is your number 3?
My number 3 is Pamplemousse.
I can see me loving nobody but you.
And since I've already pretty much said my piece on them, I'll, I think at least Seth has. I think we've talked about Pamplemousse. So leave it there again and let us move on.
No, that's great. Yeah, Pamplemousse, Natalie Dawn, Jack Conte. If you haven't checked him out, check him out. Jack Conte, by the way, co-founder of Patreon. That never ceases to amaze me that that's a thing. He's also one half of Scary Pockets as well. So he's all over our show all the time, whether it's Pamplemousse or Scary Pockets. So Seth, what is your number 3?
My number 3 is Slow Thrust.
Slow thrust or slaw thrust? Either one, I guess. It could be either. So, interesting.
I went back and forth on that myself. Yeah, I wasn't sure.
Well, you know what? It could be either one, and I didn't check, and I followed them for years, and I'll tell you why here in a second. But this is from the 2017 album "Show Me How You Want It to Be." They're currently at 136,000 monthly listeners. They're an alt rock band from Boston, formed in 2010. Currently a duo consisting of Leo Welbaum and Will Gorin, who gained popularity in 2023 for their unique cover of Genuine's Pony, which is where I knew them from and started following them. That version is awesome, and I love it. This one?
I think I've heard that, actually.
Well, you know what, Seth? This one, I was actually shocked that you had this in the top 5 at all. This one, I thought it was very inventive. I love the verses. The chorus, however, is like it's thrown into a blender, and I watched it spin around, but it's not a beautiful oblivion. It's like just chunky and lumpy and icky. This is a version to scare away the barnyard animals. But the verses are so cool. I thought that there's at least one other version on here that does something a little different, and that is my filter choice for number 5, where the chorus is also deconstructed. This one just it takes it apart too much. It unravels it, and it doesn't come back together in the way that I want it to. So Casey, I'm interested to hear your take on the Sloth Rust version.
I almost wanted to lump this in with Filter's cover, but I would put this just a hair above Filter, because I feel that Sloth Rust cover is what Filter's cover would sound like if Filter didn't take themselves so seriously while doing this, because the Sloth Rust cover does strike a very delicate balance between sounding as just anachronistically wrong as Filter's, but sounding more appropriate, because, you know, the verses sound appropriate and well captures the song for what type of rock they're doing, but the choruses are just more just ramshackle garage rock screaming. I mean, this song literally ends with the lead singer screaming. So it's just a hair more competent than Filter's version to me.
All right. Well,
almost
Seth,
funny, but
no, I gotcha. No, it's this whole all these takes. This is so funny to me just listening to them. But Seth, I gotta know, why did you have Sloth Rust at 3?
So actually, when I first heard it, I didn't care for it, but the more I heard it, the more I loved it. And when that overdrive hit, I was all in, and I felt the raw emotion build in this song, and it's truly there. So if you can't see the beauty in it, that's just your personal opinion. I see the beauty.
Whoa, I've been dissed. Okay, so are you ready for my number 3?
I'm ready.
Okay, my number 3 is Jordan Fry.
To think about the girl you love and hold her tight, so happy.
This is from a covers EP released in June of 2019. Jordan, at 120,000 monthly listeners, is a singer-songwriter who just broke through with the release of his song Wildflower last year. He's a Southern California-based singer-songwriter and producer, known for his indie pop sound characterized by nostalgic, sun-drenched melodies and introspective lyrics. The snare drum. I love the snare drum here. though it was done so well that the vocal effects were nicely spaced out to it. I really liked a lot of the choices made for this version. And as subtle as they were, it was all timed out beautifully. Jordan Fry, what did you think of that version, Casey?
I thought Jordan Fry's version was all right, but it didn't stand out to me because I don't have anything on it in my notes. So I must have just lumped him in together with all the just generic acoustic covers that didn't make my list. But yeah, nothing against him. It just a fine cover that just didn't stand out from the pack for me.
Gotcha. All right, Seth, what did you think of Jordan Fry?
I couldn't tell if that was actual drums or electronic drums, but it was a good vibe. I liked it.
Well, it could have been electronic, but there was something about that snare beat. It kept me captivated. And the more I listened to it, the more I liked it. So it was my number 3. So far, we've got one match, and that is Pomplamoose between Casey and Seth. It was number 3 for Casey. It was number 5 for Seth. I'm hoping for some more matches. We've only got our 1s and 2s left. Casey, what is your number 2?
Well, I don't know if this will be a match or not because it's one of the few that no one's bought up yet, but my number 2 was Robin Adele Anderson.
When you're with me, baby, the skies will be blue.
Who, with her backing band that complements her style, this is a swing cover, not like late 90s swing revival, but just genuine 1920 swing, and it fits the song and its basic style much better than I expected. Robin Adele does have a powerful voice that stands out from the pack quite a bit. Her backing band does complement her style well, and it switches tempos back and forth between verses and chorus quite a bit, but in a way that's very organized and works because it fits that 20s swing style, so it doesn't go all over the place. It makes the song work exactly for the type of genre that they're going for.
Nice. All right, Seth, what did you think of Robin Adele Anderson?
It has some nice qualities. It wasn't for me, but I do appreciate the musicality.
Okay. Well, this was from a single released in September of 2025. Robin Adele currently at 90,000 monthly listeners. She's a New York-based singer, actress, pinup model. She's a cast member and featured artist for Scott Bradley's Postmodern Jukebox with over 250 million YouTube views on her music videos. Of course, we feature Postmodern Jukebox quite a bit on the show as well. I like the jazzed up version enough. For someone named Robin Adele, I'd prefer either Robin or Adele to Robin Adele's voice, but it's fine enough. I think she has range and goes mega octaves, but the music is just mostly the star here for me. I like the music more than I liked her voice, is what it all boils down to for me. But again, there's not a bad version of Happy Together on here, in my opinion. So, Seth, what is your number 2?
My number 2 from this list of top 5 will be a surprise to the others. Susanna Hoffs and Rufus Wainwright.
I should call you up,
Invest a dime.
and you say you belong to me.
Wow, that is quite a surprise to me. This is actually from the soundtrack to the film The Roses, released just last August 2025. Rufus, with 1.4 million monthly listeners. He's Canadian and American singer-songwriter, composer. He's recorded 11 studio albums, has numerous tracks on compilations and film soundtracks. He's also written 2 classical operas and set Shakespeare's sonnets to music for a theater piece by Robert Wilson. Susanna Hoffs, 2.6 million monthly listeners, founding member of the Bengals, the group, not the football team, singer-songwriter, guitarist, and actress. Seth, why did you have Susanna Hoffs with Rufus Wainwright at number 2?
Don't call it a comeback. So I just thought it had a really classic feel to it. It's a great sound. I'm a sucker for Rufus Wainwright. I know we've had him in other episodes. I think I had him in honorable mentions before, but I'm a big fan. So it should be no shock if you know me that it's going to be on the list.
Yeah, I mean, I prefer Loudon to Rufus, but Wainwright's be danged. I did appreciate this version as well. I thought Rufus always had a great voice. Susanna Hoffs, I thought, used to have a great voice. Combined, they are just a really okay duo for me. Still, for what it is, though, it's got some nice psychedelic backing instrumentation, too. So it kind of almost added more of a 60s flair at times. Casey, what did you think of Rufus Wainwright featuring Susanna Hoffs?
Well, I like both artists and I like this cover, but I don't have anything in my notes about them. So I'll just say this does lead the pack of the songs I chose not to include in my list or my honorable mentions, because out of all the, generic acoustic covers that sort of blended together for me, this stands out the most among those. This leads the pack of the forgettables. Nothing against those artists, but they didn't do enough with this song.
No, I understand. Gotcha. All right. Well, are you guys ready for my number 2?
Oh, yeah.
I'm ready.
I don't know that you are, because my number 2 is Feral Minx.
Can't see me loving nobody but you.
This is from a single released in December of 2023. I think I found a hidden gem. I don't know. To me, they're a hidden gem. There's only 33,000 monthly listeners. They are from Kitchener, Ontario. They were a rock band formed by singer-guitarist Kent Merriam during the pandemic, known for a gritty melodic sound blending indie rock with raw energy. This is almost like an Andrew WK or Queens of the Stone Age like vibe for me. Just an original way to sing the chorus that just stands out from the others in a very good way. After I heard this version, I instantly followed them. This is just such an inspired yet innovative approach to a classic. It somehow just works, and the end when the music cuts out, it's glorious. It's just truly glorious. Complete with some killer licks on the guitars. I loved the Feral Minx version, and I stand by that. Casey, what did you think of Feral Minx?
Yeah, I like the Feral Minx version, but just there was something about it that kept it from either my top 5 or my honorable mentions. I wanted to include it, but I just, had to make some cuts to just keep it at 10. And this was just the one that for some reason I liked, but I didn't have anything specific that I wanted to say about it. So I just had to leave it off my list and out of my notes personally.
Fair enough. Seth, what did you think of Feral Minx?
I thought this had a current sound to it, like it could be a new song on the radio. It didn't sound at all by any means classic or anything, or anything like the original at all. It had their own vibe.
All right. Well, hey, I loved it, and I loved it so much. It's my number 2. We have different number 2s. This is just kind of crazy to look at this list here. We're a little bit of everything all over the map. Still, just the one match. What are we gonna do? Let's go to our number 1s now. Casey, what is your number 1?
My number 1 is one that I know is definitely a match. It's the Mark Ronson King Princess cover.
You and me, no matter how they toss the dice, it had to be.
It is definitely my favorite of the covers that we had to choose from. I say this is the best anyone has done modernizing this song to fit the 2010s and 2020 so far, to fit this modern pop sound while still staying somewhat true to the original.
Nice. Well, I will say this is my wife's favorite version. It was my number 4. It's one of those that if I kept listening to it, like if the weeks went by, the months went by, who knows, it might have ended up number 1. I just really, really appreciated it. And yeah, I mean, first heard King Princess on SNL too. So, hey, Seth, what is your number 1?
My number 1 is Filter.
Wow. Filter for number 1. Okay, I'm blown away here. I didn't think you'd have Filter anywhere near your top anything, and to have them at number 1, I'm glad we matched. But I'm shocked. I'm truly shocked, and I know Casey's baffled. So I want to know, why did you pick Filter for your number 1?
Like I said, there was something special about this version. I kept coming back to it, and I was thinking, "Oh, is this going to make my top 5? Is this going to make my top 5?" It's like, nah, it's not good enough to make my top 5. And every time I listened to it, it just kept getting better and better and better. And there was at one point I just connected with the song, and it just wasn't going to leave number one.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I connected with it. I did have there was a part of me where I'm like, should I even have it in my 5? But then my number 6 and my number 5 were kind of at war, and I'm like, no, I like the filter one too much. I have to keep it at 5. So I get it. I really truly believe that if that movie, The Stepfather, this song would not have existed because there would be no reason to make a version that sounded anything like that, like the ironic, backwards, not happy, kind of sound to it. So it's just so anti everything that the song stands for, which is why Casey probably just does not does not like the version as much, which makes sense. But wow, here we are. Casey, I will ease your mind and now reveal my number 1. My number 1 is Gerard Way and Ray Toro.
Me and you and me, no matter how they toss the dice.
I love this version so much, and I'm a huge My Chemical Romance fan, but I am not like the world's largest. But this version of this song, I feel, is the best version because it embodies everything that I love about the song Happy Together. And you've got half of My Chemical Romance performing a cover that sounds like they wrote it. It's crystal clear. You got those electric vocals. It just sounds like it had to be. It's the only number 1 for me is this. And this for me, So Happy Are My Ears. And there we have it. We have our 5 through 1s. So before we get into our cover war, we're going to go ahead and reveal some honorable mentions now. So just to go through some of these, Casey, if you want to go ahead and give me your 10 through 6.
Out of my 10 through 6, there are 2 that no one else has brought up, and these are my bottom 5, but they're my honorable mentions. So my number 10 is Filter. Number 9 is Sloth Rust. Number 8 is Simple Plan. And my first thought about their cover was that I could not, in good conscience, put this band in, certainly not in my top 5, but maybe not in my honorable mentions at first. I've just simply never liked them that much, especially not lyrically, and I always thought of them as a joke. But but I listened to their version, and the way they managed to just suck all the soul and charm out of the original in the process of turning it into another goofy early aughts pop punk tune that while they made it sound like a heavily watered down Blink 182 track that could only fit their sound, what they did was distinctly funny to me. But, in my honorable mentions, because it's not the worst thing I've heard from them. So, that's why it's in my honorable mentions.
That is such a backhanded compliment. I love that. So for Simple Plan. Okay, so what are the other 2?
So my number 7 is Screaming Orphans. It's a fun one to listen to. There's a very specific reason that I picked this as one of my honorable mentions. It has a very unique, specific niche sound to it. Namely, I thought it sounded like this band's lead singer pulled a prank on the rest of the band by telling them they were actually recording a cover of Charlie Daniels' Devil Went Down to Georgia before any vocals were recorded, and just pulled a bait and switch. And
I can hear that.
And number 6 is Weezer. So to recap my honorable mentions, my bottom 5, 10, Filter, 9, Sloth Rust, 8, Simple Plan, 7, Screaming Orphans, and 6, Weezer.
I love it. So Screaming Orphans, we'll just touch on them briefly. They're an all-sister band, Celtic folk rock 4-piece from Donegal, Ireland. So there you go. That was Screaming Orphans. All right.
That explains a bit of their sound, too.
Yeah, for sure.
They're
Seth,
heavy on the fiddle and strings.
Right. Seth, 10 through 6, run them down for me.
10, I have Jonah Baker in Every Season.
Yeah.
9, I had Gerard Way and Ray Toro. 8, I had Feral Minx. 7, I had, is it Paul Cunning?
Paul Canning, yeah.
Canning, sorry.
Sorry.
I always mess these up. And 6,
all
I had
good.
Nora and Will.
All right. Okay, so mine 10 through 6 looks like this. At number 10, I have Buck Wild. Buck Wild, this is a version I was familiar with the longest because they were falsely attributed to many other bands during the LimeWire and Napster era. So for a long time, everyone thought this was Newfound Glory. It did not sound anything like Newfound Glory to me. I had to prove it to people. No, this is not Newfound Glory. It's actually the band Buck Wild, who started out as a side project for Lagwagon. So the lead singer guitarist for Lagwagon. This is his side project, Sean Dewey of Lagwagon. That is. So I like them a lot. My number 9 was Paul Canning, and my number 8 was Pomplamoose. And then for 7, I had Weezer, and my number 6 was Jonah Baker in Every Season. So there we have it. Those are the honorables as we've mentioned. And now it is time for the cover war. So we had a total of 4 matches, I think. So let's reveal those real quick. At number 1, Seth had Filter. At number 5, I had Filter. At number 1, I had Gerard Way and Ray Toro. At number 4, Casey had Gerard Way and Ray Toro. So those are the 2 that are very interesting right off the bat. And then we also had Pomplamoose at number 3 for Casey, and we had Pomplamoose at number 5 for Seth. But wait, at number 1 for Casey, we had Mark Ronson and King Princess, and at number 4, I had King Princess and Mark Ronson, which is the same thing. So here's the tricky part. I don't know that this has happened yet. Casey, your number 4 is my number 1, and my number 4 is your number 1. You are our guest. You get the tiebreaker, and I'm just going to leave it to you. What do you think? Because Seth does not have King Princess and Mark Ronson, even in his top 10. Is that correct, Seth?
Correct.
But Seth does have Gerard Way and Ray Toro at number 9. So I'll let you decide on the number 1 there.
Well, this might speak to a little bias on my part, but I gotta go with the number. I gotta go with the number 1 I picked, and that would be Mark Ronson and King Princess. And
right.
I think you guys get why I appreciate the Gerard Way and Ray Toro one, but I would appreciate it a little bit more if I hadn't associated them with one specific genre of music that they cornered the market on at one point. And I appreciate what they did with it. They broke out of their own comfort zone to just give us just what would this song sound like today. But I think Mark Ronson and King Princess took it a step further than that. And that's why I put Mark Ronson and King Princess as my number 1.
So we have our 1 and 2. And so now number 3 is also very interesting because we've got Filter and we've got Pomplamoose. Okay, so Filter, that was Seth's number 1. That was my number 5. Casey, you had him at 10. But then we've also got Pomplamoose in the mix. Casey had him at 3. Seth had him at 5. I had him at 8. So what's our number 3? Is it going to be Pomplamoose? Is it going to be Filter? In the world of fair, we have a tie at 16. You add those up. 1, 5, and 10, 16. 8, 3, and 5, 16. Our guess is Casey. Casey, what do you think? Is it going to be Filter or Pomplamoose at number 3?
Again, bias on my part. I got to go with Pomplamoose because I know you guys have an appreciation for them you built up an appreciation from them over the course of doing this podcast so far. And that automatically, honestly, makes me want to check out more of this band. And I if I'm deciding on the top three, I just cannot in good conscience let Filter anywhere near there. So I got to go with
It's your song. man.
Pamplemousse. I got to go with Pamplemousse because they're an established favorite. So they're more worthy of at least number 2 on any of our lists than anything.
Okay, well, they're going to be 3. The Gerard Way and Ray Toro hit 2 with because it was the tiebreaker for the number 1 for the last one. So we're going to go ahead and stamp this. And here are your top 3 cover versions of Happy Together by the Turtles. At number 3, we've got Pamplemousse. At number 2, Gerard Way and Ray Toro. And your number 1 version of Happy Together by the Turtles is King Princess and Mark Ronson. All right. Cover war
Very well
complete.
done.
Happy Together. Now we're going to get into some other little tidbits here. We've got a quick song bio, and then I've got a trivia question for you here, Casey. So Happy Together is a song by Gary Bonner and Alan Gordon. This was recorded by the American rock band The Turtles. It was released as a single in January of 1967. It peaked at number 1 on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100, becoming the band's first and only chart topper there. It was later included on the Turtles' 3rd studio album called Happy Together in 1967. So the composition was rejected by many artists before being accepted by the Turtles, who were passing through a low down in their career. They recorded their version in the Sunset Sound studio with the newly arrived bassist Chip Douglas arranging the horns and the backing vocals. So here's your trivia question, Casey. Are you ready?
Yep.
All right. Gary Bonner and Alan Gordon composed the song while members of what former garage rock band? A, The Magicians, B, The Kingsmen, C, The Steel Trains, or D, The Winstons?
I'm going to guess the Kingsmen.
It's actually A, The Magicians, but it's okay because you lose nothing. Nothing gained, nothing lost. It's all good. So the songwriters cut a demo of Happy Together and offered it to several other artists, including The Happenings, The Bogues, and The Tokens, but it was rejected by all of them. Around the same time, California band The Turtles had begun struggling with their financial and personal problems after scoring 3 top 40 hits in 1965 and 1966, including Bob Dylan's It Ain't Me, Babe, and You, Baby. Their next 5 singles had not charted well at all. So Mark Volman of the Turtles stated in an interview, the demo, only included a singer and a guitar, but we could hear the melody in the chorus. We were very careful because we had these records that had been done poorly and we needed something to be great. It could have easily been our last recording. After all, how many failures going to be given by a small independent record label? And here we have it. After the song's successful release, the band was called to perform on TV shows like Ed Sullivan and the Smothers Brothers in 1967. Music critics have continued to praise the Turtles version for its pop qualities. All right, so we got a quick band bio, and then we're going to hit up the TikTok song poll results. So the band bio goes like this. The Turtles, formerly the surfer rock band The Crossfires. They were an American rock band formed in Los Angeles, California in 1965. The band achieved several top 40 hits throughout the latter half of the 1960s, including It Ain't Me, Babe, You, Baby, Happy Together, She'd Rather Be With Me, Eleanor, and You Showed Me, with Happy Together reaching number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. As the Turtles' commercial success waned by the end of the 1960s, they became plagued with management problems, lawsuits, and conflicts with their label, White Whale Records, leading to the group breaking up in 1970. Kalin and Volman, alongside Pons, then joined Frank Zappa's band, the Mothers of Invention, where, for contractual reasons, they performed under the name Flo and Eddie. Volman is Flo, Kalin is Eddie. After leaving Zappa at the end of 1971, Kalin and Volman continued to perform under the Flo and Eddie name, becoming popular as a comedy rock act, and also went on long-lasting success as a session musicians for artists including John Lennon, Bruce Springsteen, Alice Cooper, some big names there. 1983, Kalin and Volman began touring as the Turtles, featuring Flo and Eddie. Kalin ceased touring in 2018, while Volman continued to tour till his death in September 2025. All right, so are you guys ready for some TikTok song poll results now?
Yep.
So I do this before every show, a couple days before. I'll pose a question to TikTok and I'll ask something like this. So we have the Turtles, Happy Together. So I said, because we are covering Happy Together by the Turtles this week, what is your favorite song from an artist with an animal in their name? My personal favorite is Cold, Cold, Cold by Cage the Elephant. You chose Happy Together by the Turtles. It's very fitting. Seth, did you have any favorites by animal, title, artists?
I did, and I thought I wrote them down, but I had 3. I'm just going to go with Arctic Monkeys for now.
Any particular song? Like, I'd bet that you look good on the dance floor. Is that your favorite Arctic Monkey song?
No, there's actually 3 songs that I really like, and right now my brain is completely blanking on them.
It's okay. If you think of one while I rattle these off, you can let me know. But here are some other choices by our TikTok comments. We had 3 other Cage the Elephant songs: Tokyo Smoke, Black Madonna, and Trouble; Pocket by Feeble Little Horse; Beyond My Windows by Duck Blockers, a Belgian band; Einstein on the Beach by Counting Crows; A Long December by Counting Crows; Gia Monster by King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, which is a twofer; Anything by the Mountain Goats, not the song, just literally, Anything by the Mountain Goats. I love how John articulates in that band. They're great. Blackbird by the Beatles; Sleeper by Snarky Puppy, an elaborate jam band; Ain't Even Done with the Night. And I thought about this for a second. I'm like, oh, by John Cougar Mellencamp. Okay, that's why. Somebody put Kiss from a Rose by Seal. I'm like, hey, we just did a whole episode on that last week, so check that out. Right Turn Clyde by Bloodhound Gang. I cannot believe somebody picked that, but they did. Poor Me by Trick Pony. I hadn't thought about Trick Pony in like 20 years, and I saw that. I'm like, oh, wow, them. Duchess and the Proverbial Mind Spread by Primus. Had a little back and forth with the guy who wrote this, and he's like, well, and then he got technical with Primus being part of French for primates, and I'm like, well, yeah, but they also used to be called the primates, so it still works. It's great. I love it. Joker and the Thief by Wolf Mother. Sword of My Father by Wolf Tooth. Heralds by Wolves at the Gate. Nobody said anything by Wolves of Glendale yet, but they got time. Traveling Soldier by the Chicks. La Puerta Negra by Los Tigres del Norte. There you go. Hotel California by the Eagles. One of These Nights by the Eagles. Crying in the Rain by Whitesnake. Ignore This by Dead Pony. I'd never heard of them either. Instantly followed. I love them. So Dead Pony, check them out. Tomorrow's Crusades by Geese. I'm surprised I didn't get more Geese, but that was the one. We got Empire Ants by Gorillaz, who will be on SNL next month. Clint Eastwood by Gorillaz. Again, they will be on SNL next month for the first time ever, which is crazy. Rock You Like a Hurricane by the Scorpions. And from I Wrestled a Bear Once, which is an actual band, You Know That Ain't Them Dogs' Real Voices. That's the name of the song. And there you have it. That is your list of our TikTok song poll results. Not one of them repeated, which has never happened. So I guess I left it too open. I don't know. Seth, did you think of any particular Arctic Monkey songs? It's okay
The one that's coming to my mind right now is Are You Mine? But there's others that I like.
Okay, that's a good
really
one.
Well.
Casey, did you have any other animal-related bands or songs that you liked?
Well, I'll throw one onto the pile that no one's mentioned yet from an artist that I ran pretty hot and cold on until she was also on Saturday Night Live in the season premiere of this season. It's Amen by Doja Cat.
Nice.
I was really impressed by that one.
Doja Cat is actually really funny too. Like, I love her personality so much. So awesome. I love it. All right. So good choices there. So now we're going to get into these lyrics. So Happy Together was released in 1967 by the Turtles. It's a pop classic about the contrast between intense, unrequited longing in the verses and a dreamed of euphoric reality in the chorus. It captures the hope of turning a one-sided crush into a happily ever after partnership, focusing on the power of daydreaming about a perfect, inseparable relationship. Imagine me and you. I do. I think about you day and night. It's only right to think about the girl you love and hold her tight. so happy together. If I should call you up, invest a dime, and you say you belong to me and ease my mind, imagine how the world could be so very fine, so happy together. I can't see me loving nobody but you for all my life. When you're with me, baby, the skies will be blue for all my life. Me and you and me, no matter how they toss the dice, it had to be. The only one for me is you, and you for me. So happy together. I can't see me loving nobody but you for all my life. When you're with me, baby, the skies will be blue for all my life. Me and you and me. No matter how they toss the dice, it had to be. The only one for me is you, and you for me. So happy together. And then that repeats and repeats and repeats. And then we have the bada bas and bada bas. So Casey, I'm curious, are there any lyrics that you enjoy more in the song? What are your favorite lyrics?
I'd say the lyrics that stand out to me are "It's only right," and "If I should call you up and invest a dime," and you say you belong to me, because it's on the surface, it sounds more like someone's in that first honeymoon stage of love when you're just starting to bond with someone. But I think the lyrics I mentioned speak to maybe a little creeping, intrusive thought, insecurity that either, maybe a past lover was right for you, or maybe some slight insecurity that this new person could leave you or they could be cheating on you. But it also, when you have that thought, you remind yourself of something or talk to them, and it just pulls you back from the brink and makes you think that this is the person that this person's your soulmate.
Right. I love it. Seth, what about you? Any lyrics stand out to you?
I had a whole week to think about this, and I did think about it, but I appreciate the whole song. It's written well. I appreciate just the thoughtfulness that went into it, and whether or not it's meant to be as poppy as it is, I don't know, but it comes off very nice and light.
No, I love the tempo chosen here. I don't think it would have hit nearly as well if it was a lower tempo song. My favorite lyric is "No matter how they toss the dice, it had to be," because it's the chance versus fate kind of a thing, and I like taking chance out of the equation. Not that I believe in fate, but also it's just such a really like powerful yet simple. It's like power in the simplest of terms, and I love that. I am now going to perform what is called a parody. I know, Casey, you are very familiar with the art of parody. This is something that we just started in season 2. Seth, Casey, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Yes.
I'm going to go ahead and take a drink before I start this. All right, here we go. Imagine eating glue. I do. I think about it day and night. It isn't right to think about the glue I love and take a bite. So sticky together. And I will not throw up. Ingest it right. And you said it was toxin free. To ease my mind, adhesive based consistency. Yes, you will find while bonding together. I could see me eating a whole jar of glue like every night. Fill my face with paste till my cheeks could turn blue. Oh, what a sight! Tacky glue and glue sticks too. No matter what form that it takes, I call it food. It's cool 'cause it's AP approved and water-based. So happy with Elmer. I could eat premium to tight bondwood glue like every night. Weld Bond Universal adhesive's good too. They're both all right. Tacky glue and glue sticks too. No matter what form that it takes, I call it food. It's cool 'cause it's AP approved and water-based. So happy with Elmer. Tacky glue and glue sticks too. And then it keeps on repeating throughout the song. You know what to do. All right, so there you go. That's Happy with Elmer. All right. So
Very nice.
appreciate
Good
that.
job.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So we've got just one last piece of business to take care of, and that is covers versus the original. Casey, I'll start with you. Are any of these cover versions better than the original Happy Together by the Turtles?
I mean, that's a pretty big ask. I mean, I wouldn't say any of them are better. I mean, I obviously like some more than others. I wouldn't say I like them better than the original. I would just say this song has many different covers that would fit whatever musical genre or time period of music you're into at the moment, because it's just that universal, that easily adaptable, and that's why I picked it. I mean, there's a lot of covers that sound good for the modern era or the era they're produced in, but that doesn't mean that they beat the original in any way.
Yeah, it lends itself well to all these different takes for sure. Seth, what did you think? Any of the cover versions better than the original?
Although it's classic and iconic, I did like a few of them better than the original.
Wow. Okay. Which ones? The filter version and the
My
Susanna
top three.
Hoffs? Top three?
Yeah.
So you're going all the way up to Sloth Rust? Really? Wow. This is one I kind of had to think about a little bit, because I think timing really played a role in here, knowing the history behind the song and just hearing the original so often versus the cover versions. As much as I appreciate how well it lends itself to all these different covers and the takes, I'm with Casey on this one. I don't think any of them live up to the original quite as much. So I'm going to be a no on this one too. So no, yes, no. Very cool stuff. All right. So are you guys interested in hearing what we will be covering next week? I know Casey already knows, and I know Casey already knows the guest that we're going to have on next week as well. Seth, are you ready to hear what Deej picked out for her song?
I can't wait to hear it.
Okay, so Deej picked New York State of Mind by Billy Joel. A classic.
Ooh,
And so, yes, we will
that
welcome
is a
Deej
tip of the
Barons.
cap.
Yeah, we will welcome Deej Barons next week, who is Casey's co-host for the We Heart Hater podcast. Casey, Deej is also going to be singing New York State of Mind. Instead of me just reading the lyrics like we do every episode, it's going to be Deej singing and then me doing the parody and hoping that Deej is okay with that. So it's going to be an interesting and really, really fun time next week. So we had so much fun having you on the show. Thank you so much for being here, Casey. Where can the people find you?
Well, I mean, you can follow me on all the socials: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I refuse to call it X, Threads, and Blue Sky, where I usually just post links to my newest blog, covering my newest blog posts reviewing both the current season of SNL in progress and the episodes from the Hater era that I'm reviewing for the podcast. And the latest episode of We Heart Hater that's just came out last night or yesterday morning as of this recording. What we're doing this year, to start off this year, we're switching back and forth, alternating between covering all of SNL season 33 and Documentary Now seasons 1 and 2. I know Documentary Now has 4 seasons, but Bill Hader, the subject of our podcast, was only able to participate in the first 2 because in between 2 and 3, Bill Hader signed a contract with HBO to start acting, producing in Barry, which legally prohibited him from performing or acting in any other non-HBO, any non-Barry show. And season 33 of SNL, we decided we usually the early seasons of SNL or the early seasons of Bill's tenure where he was just a featured player, we cherry picked those episodes because he wasn't in a lot. This season, I don't know if we'll do future seasons of this yet, but this season we're just covering all of season 33 because that was 07, 08. That was the season that bookended the Writers Guild of America strike. So we figured it's a shortened season and it's a notable, pretty famous season. So why not cover the whole thing? And the next, we just started this. So we just did the Seth Rogen and Spoon episode, LeBron James, and the LeBron James premiere from that season. Next, we're going to do John Bon Jovi and the Foo Fighters. And a bit of a spoiler alert, we've already talked about Bill's 2 best moments from that episode on previous We Aren't Hater podcasts. So yeah, that's where you can find me and what I'm doing and what I've got to plug here.
Very cool stuff. All right, Seth, where can people find us on the socials?
We're at Cover Wars Podcast on YouTube, Cover Wars on TikTok and Facebook, and you can email us at coverwarspodcast@gmail.com.
All right, thank you very much. And hey, if you're ever out there and you're all alone and you don't know where to go for covers written by artists other than the original, Seth and I, and sometimes Casey even, we got you covered. Bye, everybody.
See ya.